Year after year, I get more inspiration out of the first piece of Sfas Emes on Chanukah. Sfas Emes really is based on the Ramban, the beginning of Parshas Baloscha, where every one of the Nisim took part in the Chanukah Samizbeach. The head of every tribe brought his collection of sacrifices to inaugurate the Mishkan. Aaron, the Kohen Gadol, was not part of it. So Moshe Rabbeinu told him, you should know that what they inaugurated here was something that is dependent on the Mishkan and later the Beis HaMikdash. And for so much of Jewish history, it will not be there. Your mitzvah, which is the menorah, that's something we're going to have forever. And it's referring to the mitzvah of Hadlokas Ner Chanukah, lighting the menorah on Chanukah. So the Sfas Emes seems to be bothered by the connection between your menorah at home and the menorah in the Beis HaMikdash. That's a Beis HaMikdash where the menorah was lit right in front of the Kodesh HaKadoshim, the Holy of Holies. The menorah was the conduit of wisdom that was really taking the light of Torah from the Kodesh HaKadoshim, from the Aron, from the Ark, turning it into the 7 branches, the 7 chokhmas, the 7 forms of wisdom. The avoda was in front of the Shekhinah. We lighting our menorah at home, we're in some way connected to that. Most of us are not Kohanim. We like to speak of our homes as a Beis HaMikdash, but got a long way to go. And our menorah. Says the Sfas Emes, the miracle of the Pach Shemen, the miracle of that one vial of oil that was found that then burned for 8 days. That was a sign. They wanted to do the avoda. They wanted to serve Hashem. They wanted to kindle the menorah, and they lacked oil. So Hashem provided it miraculously. Says the Sfas Emes, that set the stage forever for Klal Yisrael to be able to fulfill kindling the menorah when we lack what it takes. Then they were lacking oil. We're lacking a Beis HaMikdash. We're not Kohanim. We're lacking the menorah of the Beis HaMikdash. We're lacking it miraculously. Hashem makes it that we still fulfill the very same thing that the menorah did. So this sounds like Hasidus, reading into things, trying to make something, I guess, bigger than it may seem. But we've got to understand what the Sfas Emes is saying is really the essence of Chanukah. What happened? Most of the Jewish nation had gone to Hellenism. Most of the Jewish nation fell for the first intellectual challenge to Torah there was. Remember all the years it was either Torah or paganism. The only reason why we were tempted was Yetzer Hara, nothing else. This was the first intellectual challenge to Torah. And little by little, the nation went for it. Of course, Greece hiring their Assyrian mercenaries had the Beis Hamikdash defiled, and we're taking over the country. What happens? A handful of Kohanim decide that they're going to take them on. Rav Noach Weinberg, Zichron Levracha, always used to ask, where was the rabbinical leadership of that generation? Where were they? Most people don't even know who they were. It was in the era of the Zugos. One the Av Beis Din, one the Nasi. Probably Yossi ben Yoezer and Yossi ben Yochanan. I'm speaking in front of the world expert on Jewish history. Hope I'm all right. Where were they? So I'll tell you where I think they were. If the Hashmonaim would have approached them and asked, should we go and fight, the Syrian mercenaries and their elephants, the tanks of that day, what would the halacha have been? It's suicide. What are you doing? You don't stand a chance. They would have been told no. They did it anyway. I assume they didn't ask. And rightfully so. They were driven by the desire to restore Jewish values and Jewish practice. And nothing's going to stop them. And if it means giving their lives for it, they're ready for it. They were not going to accept a situation where the Jewish people don't live by Jewish values. And as time went by, a Jewish people that doesn't even know about Jewish values, they weren't going to accept it. They'd give anything. And what happened? Morsarta giborim biyad chaloshim, rabim biyad miyatim, tmeim biyad tahorim, rishon biyad tzadikim. Miraculously, they won. It was an outright miracle. And a couple of Kohanim with their bows and arrows. It was miraculous. What's Chanukah about? It's when you lack the means, but you know it's got to be done. The resolve is there, the passion is there, but you lack the means. On Chanukah we learn that when you've got the passion, you've got the resolve, you'll stop at nothing. Hashem will provide the means. And that's what happened in the nace of the Pach Hashem. And they wanted to restore Avoda, but they lacked the oil. Hashem saw to it that there was a vial of oil with the seal of the Kohen Gadol still around. Yes, and it did burn miraculously for 8 nights. So this is what the Sfas Emes is saying. If a Jew stands and lights his menorah, and he craves the avodah of the Beis HaMikdash, he's got the passion, he'll do anything that can help bring the Gula. Then Chanukah teaches us Hashem will provide everything you're missing. Hashem will provide everything you're missing. You know, it's hard to imagine because the world has changed so much. But when Reb Noach opened his first yeshiva, started in Bnei Brak, Magen Avram, every gadol he spoke to laughed. You're going to open a yeshiva for people that are non-observant, that are living the good life out there where everything is permissible, the whole world is open to them, and you're going to convince them to start keeping Shabbos and keep kosher? You've got to be kidding. Perhaps one-on-one, but an institution, institutionalized kiruv. What's this, a factory that's going to turn out observant Jews? Used to quote the particular Rosh Yeshiva who said that. A factory that's going to turn out observant Jews. Everyone laughed. The world has changed. I don't know what percentage of every Jewish community there is, what percentage are either Balei Tshuva, children of Balei Tshuva, or grandchildren of Balei Tshuva. I don't know, maybe it needed a miracle. Today we understand it's only natural. Come on, every Jew's got a Jewish neshama. Is it miraculous that the neshama connects to Judaism when exposed to it for real? Besides, what's the competition? Is there anything that comes close to Torah? Is there any society that comes close to ours? I keep saying your average frum housewife does more chesed than Mother Teresa. Certainly now during the war, without question. Yes, but today we've got a problem. So many of ours are our own Jewish brothers and sisters are left-wing liberals and seemingly unapproachable. So first it's Chanukah. Come on. If you feel the need, if you're living the tragedy of Klal Yisrael, where most Jews don't know they were created, if you feel that, and you know it's got to change, miracles will happen. They're happening and they will happen. You know something? Hashem did a number on us. We were shaken by what happened in Simchas Torah. Everybody was shaken. So many Jews far away were shaken. More people are willing to stand up and be counted as Jews than ever before. Our chevra out there are telling us shul attendance in these outlying places, shul attendance has doubled, a 100% increase, no less. People are coming to classes. They want to know what Judaism is about. You know, in my community, on Shabbos, some of you guys have gotten to know my chevra there. I have a community of good yeshiva guys. People are not dreaming about kiruv, they're dreaming about another mesechta and another one, and they're growing and they're learning and they're midas. So 2 weeks ago on Shabbos, I just let it out. I spoke about Shimon and Levi, that the pasuk call Achei Dina, the brothers of Dina. And Rashi says, why are they the brothers of Dina? All 12 of them were brothers of Dina. Because they were ready to give their lives for her. So they're called her brothers. The brothers of Yosef, before they threw him into the pit. So Yosef was looking for them. And he meets Aish, that Chazal tell us was Gavriel. And Gavriel tells him, Nosu mizeh. They traveled from here. And Rashi says, Nosu atzma me'achva. They've left the brotherhood. And it seems that that's key. When you feel you've got a brother, there's nothing you won't do for a brother. When you forget that someone's your brother, you can throw him into a pit with snakes and scorpions. So I let them have it. Do you know that every ignorant Jew out there, every left-wing liberal, including the ones that are demonstrating against the genocide in Gaza, every one of those is a brother of ours. If you can forget about them and just be totally self-involved, growing in your learning, in your midos, in your avodas Hashem, in your davening, yeah. If you can forget about them, you were noseya atzmacha min ha'achva. You left the brotherhood. So this one avrech, one in the neighborhood, timid guy, sits and learns all day, timid guy. He went back for some family occasion for a couple of days. So on the plane on the way back, he decided he's going to be brave. Started talking to people. So they made a minyan for mincha on the plane. I had warned them many times, don't make minyanim for mincha on the plane. You're disturbing people. They paid for their tickets, and they deserve an aisle. So one of the things he did is he went around and he asked permission from everybody. And that was a great way of engaging them in conversation. Bottom line, they started mincha. You know, all the charedim that were on the plane had to just take off their kippot and leave their hat on because there were so many people asking for kippot, and basically all the men on the plane davened mincha with them. And he was going around with the women, showing them things that they could say. He never did kiruv before. He did not have any classes. No classes, no kiruv training whatsoever. I am sure he does not know the theory of evolution. His nose is always in a sefer. When you get the message, when there's a resolve, miracles happen, and Klal Yisrael is more open today than ever before. Guys, keep learning, keep growing, but in the process, make sure to make contact with everybody you know that doesn't know anything about Judaism. There's a greater thirst, there's a thirst. Hashem shook him up. Hashem shook us all up. The message we got to get is, how could there be Jews living in Israel that don't know they were created? How could it be that there are Jewish kids in Israel that never heard Shema Yisrael, Hashem Elokeinu, Hashem Echad? Need a passion, a resolve, and don't ask too many questions. Be amakedi. And then get at it. There will be siyata d'shmaya. There will be miracles. I hope more and more of us get the message. And then we can be Hashem's shluchim, Hashem's agents in bringing all of Klal Yisrael back home. Another thing we got going for us is that anti-Semitism is also coming out of the woodwork. The Jews are remembering they're Jews, and the non-Jews are remembering that they hate Jews. Got to bring every Jew back to Yiddishkeit and back home. And then, Oze Gmor B'Shir Mizmor Chanukah HaMizbeach. Then we'll have the complete celebration of the return with the inauguration of the third Beis HaMikdash, right here, right out the window, with all of Klal Yisrael home and loyal to all of the Torah's values. Have a happy Chanukah.